here. I'm here. Anybody else here? Nobody else is here. Did we get our notification? Don't know. Hey, there's people. Hi. Oh, you're almost there, Kara. Almost to where we're at. That's like the chapter just before. I was afraid nobody was coming. I was like, nobody's here. Nobody's here. Oh. Hi, Robert. Gwen. Kara, Emma, Marilyn, Sylvia. Hi, Sylvia. Yeah, so it's just me tonight. Like I said, if there's anybody out there that would like to come in and have a discussion, I can always send you a link. But otherwise, you get me. You get me. Oh, boy. This is a very interesting book. Very interesting. I know a lot of you are reading it on audio, so you probably don't even notice it because you're reading or listening on audio. But it's got just these little chapters. And they're not even like called chapters. There's no chapter numbers or anything. But it'll just be like a page. And that's it. So they're just little snippets along the way. So it's very interesting. I did talk to Brandy earlier. She is very sick, but we talked and I was like, okay, this book reminds me of a TV show. Help me with the TV show where the guy would jump from person to person and he'd be different people. He was him, he was him inside, but he was a different person living a different person's life on the outside. And he would always hop into a new thing at the beginning of the show and he'd have to figure out where he was, what his surroundings were, why he was there, what his relationships were with all the people that he was encountering. And she had to remind me, she knew exactly what show I was talking about, and it was Quantum Leap. Yes, Emma, I could not come up with the name of that show to save my life. But it's kind of reminded me of that a little bit. Like she ends up someplace else and she doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know what's happening, who people are around her. She didn't even know where she lived in the last place that she was at. Very interesting, right? Very interesting. So I guess before I started reading it, I didn't think it was going to be quite like that. I thought she stayed in the library and she just read about alternate lives she could have led, right? That's what I thought was going to happen. But yeah, be naked, right? I know. Well, at least she shows up and she's got clothes on. I mean, like the one time she leaped, and Kara, you probably don't know this one yet, but not leaped, but the one life she's trying on, she's in a swimming pool, so she's in a pool, she has clothes on, all that, but she's like, why am I in this pool and where am I? And, she didn't know what was going on. Who are all these people? And is this what I do? I come swim in the mornings now? I don't know. Right. So yeah, very interesting. So I didn't think she was actually going to go live the life that she read about in the book because it's a library. I thought she was going to read the book, and read about her life. But no, that's not what's happening. Nope. She's like, boink, here I go. Let me go live this life for a while. Anyhow, very interesting. Yeah, the part with her cat. Yeah. So, when she found her cat, before she decides she wants to die, She decides she's going to die. Apparently, she took an overdose. That's what I understand, right? She took an overdose, and so she was trying to kill herself, trying to die, right? So now she's in this weird realm, they say. She's not dead, right? She's not dead, but she's not living her life. Now she's like in this, I don't know, this phase where she's got to figure out what she's doing, I guess. So she thought everything was wrong with her life. Nothing was going good. Everything was wrong. She got fired. She thought that she caused her cat to get killed and run over by a car, right? Um, but when she goes back to her, yeah, kind of like that, Sue. Yeah, she's like stuck in the middle of everything. Like, I don't know. Um, so she decides that, at one point she regretted about the cat, that she felt she let the cat down. She let the cat die. She let the cat get out in the road. So when she goes back to that point in her life, she's in her room, in her bedroom, and she can't find the cat. And the cat is under her bed and the cat is dead. And so she's like, wait a minute. And then she leaves. It's like, nope, I'm done with this life. Bye. And she leaves it, right? She didn't like that part. So then when she goes back, it's interesting. It's like, was it her college or high school librarian is the librarian here, right? Hi, Karen. She is in some weird transitional phase, right? It's interesting. And so maybe she is in a coma. That could be Sylvia. Maybe she's actually sitting in the hospital because she did take an overdose. She could be just like imagining all this or thinking all of this. I don't know. Like a dream state kind of. I don't know, right? But the librarian fills her in on a lot of stuff, right? A lot of things she fills her in on. Like the cat. She's like, so here's what you didn't know. They found the cat in the road, but the cat wasn't run over by a car. The cat had some disease or something. So the cat actually died because of that disease, not because of any neglect on your part. And you gave the cat the best year of its life it ever had. It was going to die anyhow, but it had the best year of its life because of you, right? Isn't that interesting, right? You feel like a movie might have been made about it? I don't know. It doesn't say anything about it having been turned into a movie. And it's a couple years old, the book is. It doesn't say anything about a movie, but I don't know. Anything's possible. Anything is possible, right? Yeah. You hope that she finds joy. Right. So I think Brandy and I talked about that today. Brandy said, I can share my thoughts with everybody. I'll tell you. She says, I'm really liking the book, she said. And I just wonder if she's not going to try on all these other alternate lives, the things she regretted. These are all her regrets, right? If I would have done this, if I would have done that. And after she tries them all on and she's finding out that there's a problem with every single one of them, maybe she decides that her life isn't as bad as she thinks it is. I don't know, right? So a lot of people are predicting or hoping anyhow that that's what happens, that she tries on all the alternative outcomes she could have had with different choices and finds that this one's not so bad, right? So anyhow, it's true, Karen. It's all in how you look at things. Hi, Allie. So the first life she tries on is the one with the boyfriend, right? The boyfriend that she stood up at the altar pretty much, pretty much. A couple days before the wedding, she's like, nope. Well, she had dreams. She had goals. Okay, Brandy said that too. I've never seen the movie A Wonderful Life. I've never seen it, so I don't know. I can't compare to that. But Brandy did mention that movie earlier, A Wonderful Life. That's an oldie movie, right? Yeah. But so she tries the boyfriend route and finds out that he really just didn't didn't turn out the way that she had wanted or thought that it could, right? It sounds like he wanted a pub, she wanted other things. There's this whole band aspect in music. She didn't really get to pursue that much. I don't know. Interesting, right? So the boyfriend turns out to be a cheater. Great. Okay. So he's a cheater and he drinks a lot. And sounds like this pub, which was his dream, isn't doing all that well. So, strike one. That life didn't work out well, right? Oh my gosh. That life didn't turn out well. Anyhow, so then she goes back to her own life in her own house with the cat, and the cat's dead, right? And she has to learn that it wasn't her fault. So she's kind of like going through this list of regrets and going, well, I regret that I didn't do that. And then she tries it on for a minute and then she's like, never mind. I don't regret that anymore, right? No, I don't have any regrets about that one anymore. So just check off your list of regrets and then you see how they would have turned out, right? And then she's like, oh, never mind. I guess I made a good choice. I guess I made a good choice after all, right? So anyhow. So Kara, I know, she says she's not quite up to the part where now she goes to Australia because now she was like, she wanted to go live with her friend, right? Her friend. And so she shows up and she's in the pool. That's the time she's in the pool because she was a swimmer. So the girl has lots of things. You guys, she has so many things. Like she was a swimmer. She was really good, a really good swimmer, right? And never pursued that. Yes, Australia with Izzy. That's correct, Kara. She's in Australia. She thinks now with Izzy, right? Her friend Izzy. But she could have been a musician. She wrote songs. Oh, and the boyfriend was just like, oh, that wasn't good. You know, he was like, oh, it was okay. Anyhow, weird, right? So she could have been a musician. She could have traveled with the band. She could have had a solo record deal. I mean, you know, she could have gone to live in Australia with her friend Izzy. She could have got married to the boyfriend. All these things that she could have done and she didn't. So here she is, just living in this apartment. There you go, Sylvia, right? She's just living in her apartment with her cat, being unhappy, working at like a record store or something until they fire her, right? And has nothing really going on in her life. Man, right? It's just crazy. Sorry. But I thought it was interesting when she does go to Australia and now she's thinking, oh, I'm gonna go be with Izzy. Do I live with Izzy? Where do she had to get her stuff out of her locker and figure out where she lives. She didn't have a clue where she lived. So she had to figure that out, went to her house, and she's living with a pothead. I was like, okay, who's this chick, right? I am so sorry. I need something to drink, but it's out there. We just had dinner, and I think I have a little piece of like ground turkey from the spaghetti wanting to. Anyhow, Izzy is the girl's best friend, or was her best friend. So, yeah, the neighbor doesn't need her. Nobody needs her, right? Yeah. Well, she liked Australia, except here she is. She's on the couch sitting here with this lady. It's a dump, pretty much. She called it like just like a little college, hangout place. And the roommates smoking dope. It's like that wasn't what she wanted. And then to top it all off, what she discover? She discovers that her friend Izzy is dead. Izzy died. So she's in Australia and her friend's not even there. Her friend died in that ending for that life. Her friend died, got hit by a car, right? Now, in another ending, in a different alternate ending, her friend probably isn't dead, right? So that was just too much. She's like, I can't stand this. I don't think she's left Australia though, has she? Last I thought she was still in Australia. Oh no, maybe she's left. No. Oh, hang on. Why in the world? Oh, my school district that I no longer work with is calling me, probably to tell me that we're having a snow day tomorrow. Oh my goodness. We read fire. We read up to fire. Yep, her friend is dead. Okay, you need to stop making noise because you're driving me crazy. I don't care. But she knew Izzy isn't dead in all of her lives. A man calls and says, "Where are you? You're supposed to be here." And then she's like, "Wait a minute. Whoa, I'm supposed to be there selling tickets at the ferry terminal." And then she's like, "Oh, goodness." And then she fades away. So she does leave Australia. Here's the book. There it is. Matt Haig, The Midnight Library. All right. Hi, Sue. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody around here is getting a snow day tomorrow because we're getting, I don't know, they don't know, 6, 10, 4, 8, I don't know, inches of snow. I don't know. I don't have to worry about it. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. So yeah, so she's left Australia. Yeah, that wasn't the life for her either. So now she's going to be back in the library and she has to choose another possible ending. Oh, Karen says, "Yep, we're closed." I know. It hasn't even started snowing yet. That's the funny thing, right? It hasn't even started snowing here yet. And we were just watching the news and they were like, "Well, here come the school closings." And they're already posting them, school closings tonight. And it's not even snowing yet. Right? Normally they wait until we get some snow. It's not even snowing. It's raining right now. Anyhow, whatever. Yep, I'll just stay home. Sioux City Sue. What? Sioux City Sue. What is that? Oh my goodness. That's funny. I don't know what that means though. Sue, you live in the city? I don't know. One snow flurry in Houston and we close. I know, but that's Texas, you know. We're used to snow around here. Come on, people. If it's 3 or 4 inches, we should go to school. Oh, it's a song. Okay. Sorry. Clueless. All right. Any thoughts that you guys have about the book? What do you think about it, first of all? It's very different. It's very different. It's very unique. Yeah. What are your thoughts? Tell me what you think. Did I miss anything? Did I miss any of the key points? Everybody's a wimp now, right, Karen? Yes. I mean, they got used to staying home, you know, because of the COVID thing. Everybody's been staying home. So now it's just, let's just stay home. But here's my question. You know, do they actually get a real snow day or are they going to expect people to teach? I don't think so. It's so easy for people now to say, "Oh, we can just teach virtual. We don't need a snow day." Oh. I just learned something very interesting from my best friend. In the state of Michigan, I'll just say in Michigan, I don't know about any other state, we have to have X amount of days of school, right? X amount of hours, X amount of days. And for it to count as a day, you have to have like 75% of your students in attendance for it to count as one of your days. She just let me know last week they haven't had one day in the last couple years here that they've had the amount of students they need to count it. Now I'm like, oh boy. So technically they really aren't counting any of these days of school as really full school days, but the state's got to they just got to take what they can get. They just have to take what they can get at this point. Are they going to just go to e-learning for one day, Sue, for tomorrow? I mean, see, that's the silly part because you can't just throw an e-lesson together. You can't just say, "Oh, we're not going to have school tomorrow, but we're going to go virtual tomorrow." Teachers aren't prepared for that. They can't just whip that up overnight and just be ready to teach virtual. It's crazy. Anyhow, not usually your cup of tea, but curious where it's going. I know it's not anything I've ever read before. I'll tell you that. It's very unique. Very unique, but it's very interesting. Very interesting. All right. Yeah, you can apply for waiver days, right? And we're allowed X amount of snow days in Michigan, but apparently every day this year has been a snow day. Or not we called it a snow day. We haven't had enough attendance all year long. There is a school bus driver shortage nationwide, Maryland is. That's everywhere, right? Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. Anyhow, I should have just left it virtual. Well, yeah, there is something to be said about teaching in person versus virtual. And I did teach some virtual, so I do know. I can speak from experience, I guess. It's not the same. It's not the same. It just isn't. Anyhow. There you go, Kara. It does, right? Okay, so let me just say, look, we have another Allie. Hi, Allie. I know. They've been wearing masks around here at school, since this whole thing, since they went back. Because my district only went back in person this year. They didn't go back in person last year at all. This school year they have, though. But think about your life. Think about your life. If someone handed you your list of regrets, things that you regretted, or not even necessarily regretted, but just questioned, what if I would have done that? What if, I'm, goodness, hang on. Chat amongst yourselves for a second. I've got to have a drink. Hang on. Oh, goodness. Something in my throat. So I am actually the perfect person to talk about this because I have talked about this. Like Dale and I, we dated when we were in high school. Things happen. And then we didn't stay together. What would our lives have been like? What would have been different? We've talked about that before. Him and I have talked about that. What would have been different? But then you have to stop and think, well, it would have been nice to have been married to him my whole life, probably, had kids together. But then I wouldn't have my kids. He wouldn't have his kids. We wouldn't have the same life experiences we had had throughout our lives that then brought us together later in life and helped us, have the relationship that we have now. It would have been different. It would have all been different, right? I wouldn't be who I am now. I might not be on YouTube right now. You just never know. But we've thought about it for sure. We've definitely thought about it. But think about your life. What do you think? Do you think there's something you could have done differently that would have changed your life so much? I mean, it's weird to think about, isn't it? It's kind of weird. The opportunity to live another life you wanted sounds good. Sign you up. You want to try in a different life soon? Wish you could go back to your 20s with the knowledge you have now. Yeah, I know. I know. We all are, right? Right? It's crazy, huh? Anyhow. Yeah, it's just something interesting to think about sometimes. And, I've been in that position where we've actually talked about it, But then we always come back to, yeah, I wouldn't have my kids. You wouldn't have your kids. We'd have kids together, but they wouldn't be these kids, right? So, are there things I wished I wouldn't have experienced? Absolutely. Absolutely. Are there times in my life I wished I wouldn't have lived that part of my life? Sure. Yeah. But, Anyhow, you've known each other since second grade and lived parallel lives. See, right? You know, you just have to, I think we all have to just think to ourselves, this is what was meant to happen, right? This is what was meant to happen. This is how our life was meant to be. And if you're in a place like she is right now, where she thinks everything she did was shit and everything turned out like crap, and, she has nothing to show for anything and she's so unhappy, well, she's getting a little dose of, hey, maybe it could have been worse. And maybe your life isn't as bad as you think it is. I don't know. Just a thought. Just a thought. Well, I know. Sue, I had other options. I was a music major. I was gonna study music. I was gonna do this. I was gonna do that. And I didn't. But then life happened and other opportunities came up for different things. And, then I became a teacher and, hindsight is 2020. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we know this. Unless you're this chick in the book, you can't go back, right? You can't go back. You can't go back and change it all. I don't know. Unless someday you end up in a coma like her, and I don't know. I really do think she's going to end up right back where she was, but just with a whole different understanding of herself and her life. That's what I think. And then maybe she learns about some of the things that were important, and then moving forward in her life, in her normal life she was living, maybe she has some insight as to how she can make it better moving forward. Some little changes she can make. That's my thought. I don't know. We'll find out though, won't we? So I went ahead and I marked out the next section of our book. And it's really hard for the people who are reading on audio because I can't tell you a chapter number. I can't, and you don't have page numbers. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. So in my book, we're going to read through page 160. And that page, look, you guys, literally, that page is the Milky Way, right? This is page 160. That's all there is the Milky Way. So we're going to read the Milky Way page, and that's page 160. That's Marilyn. That is absolutely true. I went back to school when I was 32, 33 years old, right? And that's when I went back to school to become a teacher, And I wouldn't have done that if fate hadn't called and changed my direction. I didn't do it, I got downsized from a company I was working at. And then I was like, what do I do now? What do I do now? And I was in a whole different place in my life, a whole different space. I had kids. And I was like, I think I'd like to be a teacher now. I never wanted to be a teacher before in my life, but I had children now. My kids were in school, right? Yeah, changed everything. And it was, I like to say that something bad turned into something very good. And it changed my life for me, right? Yeah. Anyhow. Okay, so it does read the chapter titles. So you're going to read the chapter that says Milky Way, which is page 160, but do not go on to the wild and free. Okay? If it says wild and free, stop. Don't read wild and free. Okay? Well, see, there you go. Yeah. Went back to school at 45, got your bachelor's degree, and then a master's degree in social work. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome job. Nice work. So you see, things have a way of turning out, I think, the way they're supposed to turn out, Anyhow. All right. Everybody clear on what they're reading for next week? Wonder where she's going to go this week. Where is she going to go? What life is she going to try on? I don't know. She's got to go. She's got to do the music thing at some point, right? She's got to join the band, or she's got to take the record deal, or she's got to do something with the music. She has to try the music part on, because that is one of her biggest regrets, right? That she didn't do more with her music. And now she just teaches piano to one kid who just quit, right? Yeah. She teaches piano, the Milky Way. Yeah, read the Milky Way. Yeah. But then when it goes to wild and free, stop. Okay. All right. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Who's Ryan? Ryan Bailey. I don't know who that is. All right. Well, it's getting interesting anyhow. All right. His mom quit. Well, yeah, because he didn't want to do it anymore. That's what she said. He didn't like it anymore. He was bored. He didn't want to take piano anymore. So, yeah, his mom. Well, most of the times at a young age, the parent's going to quit for the kid. The kid's not going to be the one making the call saying, I'm not coming anymore. The parents will do it for him, right? Anyhow. All right. Well, let's hope Brandy's feeling better. I know she went into the doctor today and she's waiting on some test results and things like that, and hope she starts feeling better. Dale had to go back to Ready Care today because his finger, yeah, it's like double its size. Yeah, he got something in it. If you were my live Saturday, he went to Ready Care Saturday night. He got a blister or splinter or something in his finger, and then he just picked at it and just irritated it and got it all infected, and went to Ready Care Saturday night, got some antibiotics because it's just killing him. I keep seeing Fred Flintstone in my head every time I think of his finger. He hits it, so I'm like, so it's still just killing him. He's been on the antibiotics since Saturday, and he left work today, and he's like, I got to go back. This is not getting any better. So they had fun with him today, though. Yeah, the lady stuck a needle in there, and he's like, I cried. I'm like, oh my God. He said, yep, I had some tears. I'm like, oh. She said, I can numb it. I can give you a shot in it and numb it, or I can just stick this needle in there and try to drain it. And he's like, just stick the needle in there. Just do it. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, yeah, that hurt really bad. So now he got another antibiotic. So now he's got two. He's taking 2 antibiotics. So I hope it starts feeling better. Otherwise, we might just have to cut it off. I don't know. Anyhow. All right. Glad you guys made it. And I'm glad you're enjoying this book. It's a little quirky. I'll call it quirky. Okay. But it's kind of a fun quirky. It's easy to read. Oh my God. I read it so quickly. I think because some of them are only half pages, but yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting. And I did pick up my next book. I already have my Nora Roberts book. I did get it at Meijer. They had it at Meijer, and it was cheaper than I could get it at Amazon even. So I picked it up. So I only got the soft cover, but I don't need a hard cover. It's fine. All right. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. And I will see all you guys next week. And hopefully Brandy will be back with us next week. All right. All right. Hope you guys have a good night. And hey, if you live around this area, if you live in, I don't know, Missouri to wherever, I don't know, we're all getting snow, I guess. Look out. Here we go. It should be fun. I actually like snowstorms. I like getting snowed in. It's kind of fun. It was so exciting to have a great big snowstorm. I love it. Anyhow. All right. I will talk to you guys later. Have a great night. I need to go finish my little bit of my cabin from my painting for January. That's all I have left to do. The cabin windows, and it's done. I'm only 1 day behind. Come on, 1 day. I almost made it. Almost. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.